Well, it's that wonderful time. It's our time with Jan McNeilin. So Jan, you're going to show us the lemon for July. So what's going on?
I am. Well, there were four lemons maturing, and now we're down to one good one and one slug-eaten one.
Oh.
But the plant itself is doing pretty well.
Yeah, very much.
It did have some flowers on it, but it doesn't now. We're just wait and see. I have been fertilizing it and will continue to do so till we get some more flowers. It works really well to fertilize the gardenias.
Wow.
So they've been doing well. So fertilizer will make a difference. We'll keep working on this lemon, or we'll auction it off to the...
Well, we'll see. It every
we'll
month.
see. Okay, but there's a whole bunch of things in the vegetable garden.
Okay.
Some issues with insects and diseases, and let's take a look.
All right, let's go.
All right.
So Jan, this has kind of been a little cooler summer for us, and I think there's a lot of things showing up in our vegetable gardens and in our flower gardens.
Right. Right there's a hollyhock, and if you like hollyhocks, you have rust, and it's not something that's going to bother the flowers any. So those are the leaves that, how they look with rust on them, and I just pick them off at the bottom and they keep going up, but I'm not going to not have the hollyhocks.
They're beautiful.
The other thing is too, I have a gladiola leaf here that has thrips on it, and they're a sucking, rasping insect, so that they go up and down between the filaments in the leaf. And so you'll see these elongated rectangle holes, and that's a thrip.
And you'll see it on crocosmia, iris,
yeah.
on different things.
Right, and it doesn't affect the flower at all. And so it's just something that's what you're going to notice, and that's what it has.
What else you got?
I had some green beans in, and they got pretty decimated by the slugs that were there. But now they're doing well, and they're growing out of it, and the newer leaves are fine. So yes, there's been damage there, and you can use slug bait or beer or whatever it is that works for you. But know that it's going to grow out of it and reduce the population of slugs. Here's some potato flea beetle. This is on a potato, and also some damage from slugs. And then again, it's beginning to grow out of it. And my potatoes are almost ready now, so in the long run, it's not an issue, just looks bad.
It doesn't affect the fruit.
No. Well, it can if they build up enough. You can get the larval stage in the soil, and they'll do some wireworm type damage on the potato. This is a male squash blossom, a zucchini blossom. And the question always arises, I have blossoms and I don't have any fruit yet. And what it is that the male blossoms come out first. And until the female blossoms come out, which is later, and they're down farther on the plant, then they don't pollinate each other. So you have to wait till maybe a few drop off and fade away until the female blossoms come along, and then you'll start to see the fruit coming.
Right, so don't worry.
No, no.
And then I have some hydrangea leaves that had some problems, and so what is this?
It's just fried from the hot days that we had and not enough water.
And so on that shrub there, though, the damage is down farther. So it happened at a certain point, and it's also growing
how
out of
many
it.
weeks ago we had 90-degree weather,
Right.
and that's when it happened.
Right. And all these things, I mean, that's part of growing a vegetable garden, a flower garden. And
Sure.
so don't give up and just kind of move on, pick off the bad things and just kind of move on and enjoy.
Right, right. And what I've also noticed is that there's a lot of mildew, that's potential mildew on the 9-bark shrubs. We're seeing powdery mildew in areas that aren't very well ventilated. Now I have one plant that looks horrible, and I have another plant that gets lots of air circulation, and it's fine. So it just depends on where it is, too.
Right. So that's a clue of where you're placing things,
Sure,
too.
sure. And so I think I'm taking one out and hoping the other one survives, and we'll go from there. Otherwise, it's not worth. I mean, you could spray during the year in the dormant season and try to keep it from, and as the new growth comes out. But it may not be worth doing that.
Yeah, it's, you know, there's always something. I mean, it's nature.
Yes, yeah, always. Well, it's fun to be able to identify what it is that's doing the
Exactly.
damage.
Right.
I also noticed that my cucumbers this year are very slow. And it's a lot to do with, like you were saying, cool evening temperatures. And once those evening temperatures get to be higher, 50, 55, then they'll take off. Mine are starting to, but boy, they just have been sitting there. The squash doesn't seem to be bothered by it, but the cucumbers really have reacted to the cold.
You know, I think you've answered so many questions because we've been getting questions into the Garden Time website. So we're all out in our gardens and we're seeing these kind of problems. And so we have a new Facebook page to look into, and Jan has it. So
I do. I set up a Facebook page to help with the garden tip segment on Garden Time. And also I miss teaching, so I thought I would set myself up to answer some questions. So it's Jan's PNW Garden Tips.
So you can go to Garden Time, our website or Facebook page, and you can kind of find hers, and so get all of those questions answered and have a wonderful garden. Enjoy it. Thanks so much, Jan.
You're welcome. See you next month.
See you next month.